Kai had been in the city for 2 months. He knew almost nobody. He had colleagues at work. He had a landlord who texted about the heating. He had a neighbor who nodded in the hallway, but no one he could call a friend. Not yet. The company had a common room on the 3rd floor. Most people ate lunch at their desks, but on Kai's 3rd week he went up. He did not want to, he just did not want to eat alone again. There was one other person in the room, a woman sitting at the far table. Laptop open, headphones around her neck, a container of food that smelled like something warm and familiar. She looked up when Kai walked in. "You're the new one," she said. "Yes," Kai said. "3rd week. I'm Amara," she said. "Kai," he said. She nodded at the chair across from her. He sat down. They did not talk much that first lunch. Amara was from Ghana. Kai was from South Korea. Both of them were working in English. Living in English, thinking half the time in English and half the time in something else. Amara said something that first day that Kai did not understand. She used a phrase he had never heard. He asked her what it meant. She explained it. Then she said, "Where I come from, we say it differently." And she told him the version from home. Kai told her the version from his language. They were completely different. They both meant the same thing. They started eating lunch together most days. Not every day, not by plan, just, it kept happening, and something about those lunches was different from every other English conversation Kai had. At work, he was careful. He chose words he was sure about. He avoided sentences he might not finish correctly. He stayed close to the safe edges of what he knew. With Amara, he did not do that, not because he stopped caring about his English. Because she stopped him when she did not understand. Not politely, not after nodding and hoping it would become clear. She just said, "Wait, what do you mean?" Every time, and at first this felt like failure, like he was not being clear enough, like his English was not good enough. But then he noticed something. She did it to everyone. When a colleague used a phrase she had not heard before, she asked. When a client explained something quickly, she stopped them. "Can you say that again? I want to make sure I understood." Nobody seemed annoyed. Everyone just explained, and then the conversation continued. Kai had spent months trying to never ask. Amara had spent years asking every time, and her English was the most confident he had ever heard from someone who had not grown up speaking it. One afternoon, they were eating lunch, and Amara said something that stayed with Kai for a long time. She said, "The problem with trying to sound fluent is that you stop trying to be understood." Kai put down his fork. "What do you mean?" he said. She smiled. "When I first came here," she said, "I tried to sound like the people around me. Same words, same rhythm, same everything, and every conversation I had felt like a performance. I was so focused on how I sounded that I stopped thinking about what I was actually saying." She picked up her fork again. "One day my manager told me something. She said, 'Amara, I always understand you, but sometimes I don't know what you think.' I realized I had been so busy performing English that I had stopped putting myself into it." Kai thought about that for the rest of the afternoon. He thought about how many times he had chosen a safer word instead of the true one, how many times he had said something almost right instead of something actually honest. Months passed. Kai and Amara kept eating lunch. They talked about work, about their families, about the things they missed from home, about the things that surprised them here. Sometimes they talked for the whole hour. Sometimes they ate mostly in silence, and that was fine too. One day Kai said something in English, and then stopped. That is not quite right, he said. What I mean is. He tried again. Amara waited. He found the sentence. She nodded. That's clearer, she said, not. Your English is getting better. Not. Good job, just. That's clearer. As if the goal had always been clarity, not correctness. Kai thought about that too. Near the end of the year, Kai's company held a small event. People from different teams came together. There was food. There were conversations Kai would have avoided 6 months ago. He did not avoid them. He talked to people he did not know. He asked when he did not understand. He said, what I mean is when the first sentence did not come out right. After the event, Amara found him near the door. You were different tonight, she said. Kai asked what she meant. You were just there, she said, not performing, just there. Later that night, Kai thought about what she had said. He thought about the first lunch, the phrase he had not understood, the 2 different versions that meant the same thing. He thought about all the times Amara had said, "Wait, what do you mean?" And all the times he had started saying it too. He thought about the words she had used. Performing. He had come to this city performing English. Somewhere between the 3rd floor common room and the end of the year event, he had stopped, not because his English had become perfect, because he had found someone who did not need it to be. Here is what Kai learned. The fastest way to improve your English is not to find a perfect teacher. It is to find someone who will stop you when they do not understand, someone who asks instead of nodding, someone who waits while you find the right sentence, someone who says that's clearer instead of well done. A classroom teaches you the rules. A real conversation teaches you what the rules are for, and a friend, a real one, teaches you that the point was never to perform. The point was always to be understood by someone who actually wants to understand you. Kai still eats lunch on the 3rd floor sometimes. Amara is not always there, but when she is, they still talk the same way they always did, slowly when they need to, honestly when it matters, in the only language they share, and that language keeps getting more like theirs.